Hey YouTube, this is Crockett 36. I am about to go play Axisandallies Global. Recently moved, but we're going back to where I used to live in Ipswich, and I'm going to coming from New Hampshire. So, playbook, U.S. playbook. I'm playing the Allies today, and excited. So what does economics, how does economics affect Allied strategy? So we have got to drive toward Scandinavia. Pretty convinced of that. It's pretty big on my priority list. We're going to grab Scandinavia, maybe with Russia, Norway, maybe with England or America. And then here's the key. We're going to use it as a bomber base. And we're just going to smash Germany. That should relieve pressure on Russia, albeit a little late if they do. If they hold America out of the war, that should release pressure on Russia. You got those boats there. There's going to be a huge navy right off of Germany. He's going to have to protect a lot of things. The forces he sends probably turn 3. Maybe he could send them turn 4 if he's not cowed by then, but probably he's got till turn 4 to send those units off, because hopefully if he does a J1, J2, turn 5, I should be able to park a good sized fleet off his coast, and the transport should arrive turn 6. A large transport navy will arrive turn 6. The bombers should arrive turn 7 and just start pummeling Berlin and Western Germany. So that's the big American strategy. The Middle East, we're going to do a Persian factory. I'm not sure if Desert Fox is going to do another factory there. One of the problems I find with the Allies is dispersion. The Axis, they're together, they have a unified income. It's only divided into 3 parts, and really if the Allies can neutralize Italy, you're talking about 2 parts. So really it's a concentrated power, and the same can be said for its attacks, its defenses. Well, its attacks can be directed as a fist, whereas there's a dispersion throughout the world. As we sandbag Yunnan, Egypt, Alexandria, as we sandbag the Caucasus or Volgograd, Moscow, London, we're dispersed. That's dispersion is good for defense, not great for attacking. That's why we've got to nibble the edges. Scandinavia is a great nibble. In my back pocket, if I don't think that's working effectively, I've got if Persian factories right there. We have a quick takeover of Spain, Turkey, same turn. Something I learned by playing on the internet against someone. I can mention his name if he wants me to, but I thought it was a pretty good move. One turn, you got both of those. Makes the Shuck a lot faster. Makes entry into the Balkans a lot faster too. But if I don't do that, then I would do something like we're going to own the Med by turn 3. Pretty sure, unless he's got something up his sleeve I haven't seen, unless he does like an Africa Corps thing. If we can own the Med by turn 3, then we can do transports to Greece, Albania, that area, and be nibbling at that edge. So if Germany can feel the pinch directly at his homeland across the frontier, if he can feel the pinch in his southern flank, if he can feel the pinch, the desperation of having to close the deal with Moscow and kind of do a desperate move because he realizes the time is short, all those things can contribute to an Allied victory. Japan, we can sandbag Yunnan unless he does a mobile attack on Bombay. In that case, my plan is to have a retake force, not to defend Bombay with everything I got. Put some anti-aircraft in there, so if he sends the planes in, planes can get whacked, hopefully by the AA if we get lucky. If not, his troops land, 6 guys, 8 guys, what is it? What do you think? those forces can be taken out by all the forces that have collected in the Middle East. Park them in West India, wait for the invaders to come in. It's what I call a fade and strike approach. Wait for the planes and the bombardments to stop, then go in and kill the defenders. So retake Bombay. He doesn't own it for long. Then of course it's reduced to a 3, and he's either forced to push into the Middle East, which should be a real knotty area, a real strong area for me at that point in time. Turn 4 should be really strong. A lot of troops, some ships, and it should be a pretty strong area. I'm gonna push back, and I don't think he's going to be able to push into the Persian Gulf. And of course, that whole time, I think he's got to be neglecting China, which I think is a disastrous strategy. Anzac, early game, is going to build. Turn 4 and on subfleets to attack the convoys around the Money Islands. So he can be reaching what I call the 134 level of income, where he's got half the world, okay? But he's not going to receive the income. He earns it, but doesn't receive it, because we're nibbling the edges, and he can't fight on all these fronts. That's my hope for strategy. Economics driving my strategy. Obviously, I want to transport from Anzac to get in there, but first, I'm going to make him split up his destroyers and just attack with subs, so that it keeps him busy. And also the whole time, of course, after turn 4, we should be able to divert quite a bit to the Pacific, except for the Shuck troops, to the Pacific. Setting up a Shuck by doing the Canadian 2-step, I believe. We may do 91 if all of his aircraft is in Russia, but probably the Canadian 2-step, go to walk the troops to Halifax, and then transport them to London, and then from London to Norway. And then the Norway thing, I'm going to position my boats off of Norway, so it's got to be strong. And then the transports just shuttle back to London, pick up the troops, and land back in Norway. And hopefully we can grab Karelia eventually, Leningrad eventually. It's like almost a 20-point difference if we can grab all that area. That, included with the bombing, makes even a capture, a fall of Moscow, negligible, because you're taking away from that 134 number. So trying to keep him, if he does earn a 134, which is, it's likely he gets close, not to see that income. Scandinavia, spread the war from there. The Pacific, I'm going to go right for C-Zone 6. That's what I like to do. And actually, if I can bypass, I mean, obviously we're going to have to send a lot of spears, which means subs, and aircraft carriers, planes. We're going to have to bleed, and it's going to be a bloody mess. And hopefully we'll land some, eventually turn 10, turn 9, land some troops on Korea, Manchuria, big money areas, and then make our ways to his factories, maybe grab the Philippines, somewhere in there. But in the Pacific, at least at first, I'm going to try a sub-approach with the American Pacific Fleet and the Anzac Fleet. Late game, what's the killer? What's going to kill this? The late game is that the American Shuck to Norway is going to amass and cause his troops to turn from Moscow, or really fight a battle up there, while the British fight a battle in southeast, in the southeastern part of Europe. If the British are building on that, obviously they can eventually threaten Italy, or northern Italy, maybe do a double. But right now, I'm going to grab some high value areas, southeast Europe, with Egypt, with the Med Fleet, and the Egypt Persia factory. That's kind of late game. And we're going to bleed him out. We're going to retake Bombay if he takes it, and then we're going to contain him. And that containment, he's going to lack Bombay. He's going to lose Moscow if he gains it. He's going to lose Egypt if he gains it. He's going to lose Novgorod, Leningrad if he takes it. And that's going to show that we're winning the game, that he's going to not be at that mid-level. So this is, and he's going to be so poor from being bombed that he's going to say, yeah, I can't win. So a little bit more of a, just trying to make him bleed and not thrive. And if I can do that, I feel like I've won the game, and eventually it would go in our favor. So maybe he makes a huge mistake, and I go into Western Germany. That's reduced to a 3-port. Maybe he makes another mistake, and I go into Germany proper, or then I land a bunch of troops in France, late game, turn 9 maybe, and then he loses Paris because he's got transports that can reach both Western Germany as well as Germany, and all of a sudden he's lost Western Europe. And I think that's a great way to demonstrate prowess and the fact that the Axis don't have a future. Contain them and build those sandbags and then nibble and take the big tasty bites. So yeah, that's my plan, the Allied plan. I think I've covered everything. Anzac, China, Yunnan, Yunnan, and just keep that income reduced. Keep that Japanese income below 63, 64. That's the purpose. That's the goal. All right, guys. Crack 36. Wish me luck. Out.